What's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jamila. This is JemilaBeReadin, because I do be reading, and today I come to you with a little book haul. I say little, but I actually have quite the stack here. These are books that I have acquired, I think, this year so far. You know, I purchase things, I receive things, and I kind of just like immediately put them into my bookshelves without really stopping to think like, oh, maybe I want to film a book haul, or maybe I want to keep track of when I receive things. So I just kind of pulled books from my shelves that I think I purchased or received this year in 2024. And I'm sure I'm maybe missing some, or maybe some of these I purchased last year. I don't know. But in any case, here are some books that have recently come into my home, and maybe some of these will sound interesting to you and you want to go pick them up. Let's get into it. Firstly, one that I'm like really excited about. I love this cover so much. I don't know, I never was like a big clinch cover girl before, but I feel like now that I'm getting like more into romance and just like, I don't know, maybe it's age. I don't know. But I've been really loving the like old clinch cover books, that style of art. And so I have this edition of Vivid by Beverly Jenkins. Isn't it gorgeous? I just feel like it's gorgeous. So the reason why I purchased this book, and mind you, I have not read a single Beverly Jenkins. I know. Stop throwing tomatoes at me, okay? I will rectify that this year, I promise. But the reason why I purchased this particular book was I've been seeing Kayla from Books and Lala is doing this, trying to find a 5-star every year that she was born, or every year since she's been born. And I was like, oh, that's a fun idea. What about if I just read books from the year that I was born, like around the time of my birthday? And I've been going back and forth on whether or not I wanted to do that, or like read books recommended for my horoscope astrology sign. So y'all let me know what you want to see. I'll do both like in the next, like this year and next year. So you guys just let me know what you want to see first, and I'll do that. But this was published in 1995, which was the year I was born. So that is mainly the reason why I picked this one up. But this says it is about being a woman of color in 1876 has made finding work nearly impossible for dedicated Dr. Vivid Lancaster. So when she's offered a practice in the small black town of Niles, Michigan, the beautiful healer is determined to succeed despite the objections of the community's handsome, mule-stubborn mayor, Nate Grayson. Nate expected a male Dr. V. Lancaster to step off the train, not the ebony enchantress who now stands before him. And though her fierce, fiery sensuality makes him weak with wanting her, Nate has resolved to send the stunning intruder back to the big city where she belongs. But Vivid is a woman not easily scorned, especially with an ironclad contract in her hand and a passionate soul that implores her to seek ecstasy in her magnificent enemy's arms. Fun. Okay, this one's kind of random. This is called Modern Migrations, Black Interrogations, Revisioning Migrants and Mobility Through the Critique of Anti-Blackness. And this is edited by Philip Kretzdemas and Jamila N. Wow, she has the same name as me. Great. But I actually attended this CLE, which stands for Continuing Legal Education. There was this CLE happening for Black History Month related to anti-Blackness and migration. This was like hosted by AILA, which is like the big national like American Immigration Lawyers Association. And they were talking about this book, and the two editors were actually there during this like virtual panel, and I just like really had a good time listening to this panel. And so I decided that I wanted to pick up the book and read more about it, because I am very deeply interested in the intersection of anti-Blackness and migration. I feel like that was a lot of what I focused on in law school and even now. So yeah. Then we have, I think, a stack of books that I got from Powell's on 2 separate trips. I think 6 books total. First is Behind You is the Sea by Susan Moadi Daraj, and this is a book by a Palestinian author. It just came out not too long ago. It's a debut novel that gives voice to the diverse residents of a Palestinian American community in Baltimore whose lives intersect across divides of class, generation, and religion. And I was hearing a little bit about this last year before it came out, and I saw that it was on sale at Powell's, and I was like, perfect, I'm gonna go ahead and pick this one up. So I will report back when I get to it. Then, of course, I had to pick up Xochitl Gonzalez's new release, Anita Deon Laughs Last. I absolutely adored Olga Dies Dreaming. I believe it was in my top 10. I think it was like my #1 read of 2021. Was it 2021 or 2020? I don't remember. But I was very excited. If you watched my anticipated reads video, you'll know I talked about this one. I'm so excited to get to this one. This is about a first-generation Ivy League student who uncovers the genius work of a female artist decades after her suspicious death. And I think there might be a little bit of romance. Like, I don't think it's like a romance book, but I think there might be. Maybe. TBD. But anyways, love the color. So excited to get to this one. Another book that I'm super excited about, Those Beyond the Wall by Micaela Johnson. This is, I believe, I don't know if it's a prequel or set in the same world as The Space Between Worlds, but this came out recently as well. Of course, I had to pick it up. The Space Between Worlds was also one of my favorite books of the year that I read it. I actually have been meaning to do a reread of that one, so I think I'll probably do that first before checking this one out, but I'm so excited. This one says, faced with a coming apocalypse, a woman must reckon with her past to solve a series of sudden and inexplicable deaths in a searing sci-fi thriller from the Compton Crook Award-winning author of The Space Between Worlds. Very excited for this. Love. I picked up Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. This is a modern classic that I've been meaning to get around to for so long. If you watched my March wrap-up, or maybe it was my February wrap-up. No, it was my March wrap-up. I talked about how I was like doing a video where I was reading classics, and then it didn't end up coming to fruition, but this was one of the books that I had planned to read for it. I think I'm just gonna scrap that video and like restart at a later date, but I will definitely include this in that iteration. I wish I had noticed this. I had a $5 coupon for Pals that's now expired, but that's okay. And then I picked up Rifka by Mohammed El Kurd. This is another book by a Palestinian author. It's not a book, it's a poetry collection. I've been hearing a lot about this one. I've heard it's really, really good. And I am planning a poetry video at some point this year, so I will definitely be including this during that video. I'm not a poetry girly, and that does not stop me from continuing to purchase poetry collections. I have quite the stack on my bookshelves, especially like when I go to like the Portland Book Festival and you have all these small publishers there, and sometimes the author is there, they're talking about the book, and I'm like get swept all up in it, and I end up purchasing like a bajillion poetry collections. I don't know, I want to be a poetry girly so bad, so I'm hoping I'll get to that video soon and have some success. But yes, I'm excited to get to this. And the last of this Powell's haul, I guess, portion, I picked up Womb City. This is another book that I mentioned in my anticipated reads of 2024. Also just came out. I am a little bit nervous for this now because I've been seeing reviews coming in about this book, and people are having very mixed to negative feelings about it. I am going to read it since I purchased it, and it does sound very interesting, and I'm hoping I have better luck with it, but it is now making me a little bit nervous. But this says it's an adrenaline-packed, cyberpunk, body-hopping, African futurist ghost story exploring motherhood, memory, and a woman's right to her own body. That was quite the tagline. But yeah, I really hope I have luck with this. Follow me over on Instagram. I guess little plug to go follow me on Instagram. But I was at a Pros Before Bros book swap event. And if you don't know what Pros Before Bros is, it's a local book club here in Portland for women of color. I've been a part of it for 4 years now. I cannot believe how the time has flown. But there was a book swap and I brought some ARCs that, you know, I needed to get rid of. And then I ended up picking up a book and I got The Guest by Emma Cline. I'd been seeing this book around a lot, especially like towards the end of last year. I think it has quite a striking cover as well. I think this is a part of the kind of sad girl lit fic vibe, maybe. An unlikable character vibe. It says summer is coming to a close on the east end of Long Island and Alex is no longer welcome. A misstep at a dinner party and the older man she's been staying with dismisses her with a ride to the train station and a ticket back to the city. With few resources and a waterlogged phone, but gifted with an ability to navigate the desires of others, Alex stays on Long Island and drifts like a ghost through the hedged lanes, gated driveways, and sun-blasted dunes of a rarefied world that is, at first, close to her. Propelled by desperation and a mutable sense of morality, she spends the week leading up to Labor Day moving from one place to the next, a Cipher leaving destruction in her wake. That sounds like a lot, and I don't know. I like books that people don't like, so I know this one has like mixed reviews, so I'm curious to see where I land on it. I tend to like books with like unlikable female characters. Well, not always. I won't say that I always do, but I feel like I tend to find more luck with them than other people might. So we'll see how I land with this one. I went to Chicago at the end of February and beginning of March, and I actually only ended up picking up one book. That's okay. I only really needed one book, but I picked up a signed copy of Kylie Reid's new book, Come and Get It, another one of my anticipated reads. Such a Fun Age was a 5-star read for me, so I am excited for this one. I think I've talked about it already in my anticipated reads, but I think this is following like a university professor and some students, and things get a little wild. So we'll see how it is. It's kind of thicker than I was expecting. And it is blurbed by Elizabeth Acevedo and Emily Henry. That's kind of random. Okay, and then last week there was a library sale going on. So I did go on the day that it started. Actually, there was like it started a day. Oh my God. The day that it started, it was just for members of the library. So I did, in fact, purchase a library membership. It was like the Friends of the Library membership. I paid $15 for a year pass. And I definitely spend less than $15 on the books that I purchased. So was it worth it? Maybe. But, you know, I love Friends of the Library. So why not? So here are some books that I picked up 3 books. And I paid like $9 for all 3 of these. So this one is clearly an old library book. I'll have to figure out how to take this off, but this is A Girl is a Body of Water. I don't know too much about this, but I've heard people saying good things about it, so I wanted to check it out, and it was in pretty good condition. This says that it's a sweeping and powerful portrait of a young girl and her family, who they are, what history has taken from them, and most importantly, how they find their way back to each other. So, yeah. Excited for that. Then I picked up Bluebird by Attica Locke. This is another one that I've been like seeing floating around for the last few years, and I've been kind of interested in picking it up. So this was kind of the push. This is set in East Texas. It's following a Black Texas Ranger, and there is a crisis that has put both his job and his marriage in jeopardy. And there's also some murders. So I believe this is like a mystery thriller. It's a powerful novel about the collision of race and justice in America. You know, the fact that the main character is the police gives me a little bit pause, but I'm hopeful that it will turn out okay. So there's that. And then finally, I picked up If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha, another book that I've been seeing around for the last few years that I really wanted to get to. This is an unflinching look at how 4 young women pursue their dreams and ambitions in Seoul. Frances Cha confronts South Korea's social norms, including its impossible high beauty standards. I've heard a lot of great things about this book, so I'm excited to get to it. Okay, let's quickly run through some books that were kindly gifted to me by publishers. First, from Berkeley Romance is The Kiss Countdown by Etta Easton. I feel like this cover is very cute, and I love the pink. This one is about a struggling event planner and a sinfully hot astronaut, and they must decide if their fake relationship is worth a shot at happily ever after in this starry debut. Fun! I don't think I've ever read a book where a protagonist was an astronaut, so that's exciting. Then I have the, I think, recently released paperback edition of An Autobiography of Skin by Lakeisha Carr. I really like this cover as well. I like the flowers. This one is also set in East Texas, okay? Go off, East Texas. In East Texas, a middle-aged woman sneaks away to feed slots in a secret backroom parlor where she has found community and friendship. A new mother confronts her fear that she is unable to protect her children. A devoted daughter returns home to join other women in her family waging spiritual combat on the ghosts of their past. An Autobiography of Skin is a dazzling portrait of interconnected generations in the South, offering a tender view into the interior lives of Black women. It is at once a powerful look at how experiences are carried inside the body and a joyous testament to how healing can be found within in love, mercy, gratitude, and freedom. This seems right up my alley. Then we have Thirst, which is a vampire novel. I love this cover a lot. This one is set across 2 different time periods. 2 women, 1 vampire, 1 mortal, confront a yearning that will not let them rest. This is a breakout genre-blurring novel from an exciting new voice of Latin American's feminist gothic. Okay, so this is vampires and it's potentially sapphic, so even better. And then we have a nonfiction. This is called First Things First, Hip-Hop Ladies Who Changed the Game by Nadira Simmons. I love this cover as well. I'm so excited. I love rap and I love Black women and I love female rappers. So all of the intersections are coming together. Excited to learn more about hip-hop ladies who changed the game. Those are all the books I have for today's book haul. I will, of course, inevitably purchase more books, and I guess I will come back to you when I have enough for a haul in the future, or maybe not. I don't really do hauls that often. So see you when I see you, and enjoy the rest of your day.